Hi guys, welcome to this channel, narcscon. This channel is dedicated to the recovery of everybody who has had the misfortune to have had a run-in or relationship, for want of a better term, with a narcissist. Today, I believe the information here will be life transforming. I definitely found it to be so myself and have recently come upon more of this information, which I would love to share with you to give you real wholesome hope in relation to recovering fully and actually going on to thrive after narcissistic abuse. If you can do something for me by subscribing or liking or sharing or whatever you can do to support the channel, I would really appreciate that. So, the fundamental, or one of the fundamental parts of life is love. And falling in love is also one of the most powerful parts of the component of love, in that it affects human beings wildly, basically. Falling in love stimulates a part of our brain to release dopamine, because fundamentally our ancient brain, our amoeba, I think reptilian brain, it's also called, the oldest part of a brain which makes humans human, motivates us to seek out a lifetime partner, to seek out the love of your life, basically, someone who's going to be suitable to partner with as a mate, to have children with, someone with whom you'll feel safe and happy. So when that part of your brain is stimulated, your dopamine levels rise and you're motivated single-mindedly to go after that goal. Your dopamine levels in a normal relationship will rise and rise in this situation, and then will plateau as the relationship becomes more normalized, and will go up and down in the course of the relationship. And there has been studies done on this which are absolutely fascinating, because as we know, a relationship with a narcissist does not follow that normal human loving trajectory. So just to give you some information, there's no sponsorship here or anything like that. One of our lovely community sent me this book after a coaching session, and I'm halfway through it, and I wanted to share it with you because the information in it is wonderful. It's been written by an Australian journalist who went through, I believe, a 14-month relationship with a fantastical narcissist, in that he was amazing at his creations and his false reality, and actually getting someone to believe in it. I'm only halfway through the book, so I don't know if she continues the relationship with him. But here's the book for anyone that wants to partake in it. It's by Stephanie Wood and it's called Fake. And the reason or the motivation for this video was some information on a biological anthropologist called Dr. Helen Fisher, who has written many books, one of them being Love is Like Cocaine, and When to Trust Your Gut, another thing we've concentrated on in this channel. But in any case, I'll just briefly outline the studies that she's done on people that are in love. She's taken a cohort of people that are in love, put them under MRI scan to see a part of the brain that she calls a little factory flickers with life in relation to the rising of dopamine levels. And the little factory, or a very minuscule part of the brain where this happens, is the ventral tegmental area. She said it sparks with activity and sends dopamine surging. She also studied a cohort of people who were in long-term relationships where they were still in love, and another cohort of people who were just dumped, and what that does to their dopamine levels. But the reason that I find this so fascinating, and I hope that you will find it wholesomely hopeful, is that when a narcissist discards us, we often feel in such a dreadful, dreadful state, that we believe we will not recover. But most importantly, we take it personally because that's the way the narcissist has set this up for us. And we believe that there's something wrong with us and that there is no hope going forward. That's the position that the narcissist wants you to be in. So let's just take this back to our understanding of the dopamine levels in the love relationship, in the romantic relationship, and let's translate that into how the narcissist manipulates this. Guys, you know, we didn't have this science. We may have only had it up to recently. The only thing that people in general had centuries ago were the Bible and the other holy books, parables about bad people and good people, and some wisdom about the fact that all people aren't the same. Narcissists did not necessarily have the wonderful playbooks that they have today in relation to films on how to make people fall in love with you. They didn't have the dating sites where people actually tell other people how somebody can fall in love with them in relation to their likes, interests, and hobbies. Again, stay off the dating sites. They're a dangerous place and a hunting ground for narcissists in general. So in times of old, narcissists may have used poetry, watched other people romancing people, but today they have all the tools at their disposal and instinctively have tried this and have learnt their craft with people and know the effect that their craft has on people. They are basically dealing in drugs. What we're dealing with here is actually a full-on addiction. It is like a drug pusher pushing huge amounts of drugs on you initially and then eking them out in a kind of devaluation phase, or an analogy with a narcissist would be the devaluation phase, and then actually highing you up again, shooting you up again on the drug with the dopamine levels, and then dropping you cold turkey and expecting you to survive when all your systems shut down in the discard phase, or when you have had enough with the narcissist and feel that you have to flee for your survival. But this is cold turkey. I mean, it's not attractive when somebody says to you, particularly initially when you come out of a narcissistic relationship, that actually you were addicted to this person. Because in truth, you loved this person. What was going on in the background was an addiction with your brain chemistry that confuses the hell out of people when they are cruelly dumped by a narcissist, because they genuinely have also got the fact that they were in love with the person and what's happening in their brain because of the intensity of the narcissist's hooking, using the drug of dopamine on you. Do narcissists know that how they've set this up? Do they know what they're doing? I think instinctively they know what they're doing. They know the powerful impact it has on their targets. Some of them may have researched and actually know how powerful the manipulation of our internal drugs can be with people, and actually practice this to full effect with the knowledge of what they're doing. But I think most narcissists do this instinctively, having had some success in initial relationships and having watched and studied films on romantic love and what people do for love, that people will kill for love, that people kill themselves for love, that people give over all their worldly goods for love. So the narcissist, instead of the normal healthy person, intensely, what we use in this community is termed as love bombing. They intensely concentrate on the target of their affections, in inverted commas, by isolating the person from any other influences, by intensely communicating with their target with a huge amount of dopamine spikes in their future faking with this target, providing them with information in relation to how they're going to satisfy their romantic partner, their target's needs, how they see a future, a shared fantasy with this person of marrying them, having children with them, and buying a house with them, all the things that perhaps the person has expressed that they would have an interest in, or the narcissist has picked up that the person would be of an age or would have an interest in, by questioning, by observing, by spying on their social media, by just getting a general sense of who and what their target is. So guys, the dopamine levels with a narcissist when you fall in love are spiked 10 times to the effect that a normal dopamine rising in love gradual process would be with another individual. You get so high that you can't believe it's true, and there's terms coined like, this is the one, never met anyone like this person, and you're feeling absolutely as good as you can possibly feel. So this scientist also, she's based in New York actually, and she says that it's like cocaine. It's like being addicted to cocaine. I would say even heroin. It's something that you're unaware is going on in the background. It's just other in-love situations have felt darn good, but this one feels too good to be true nearly. And that often leads us to equate it to that this must be the person for me, that this is the real one, and that this is the only one. And this theory or thought is absolutely supported by the narcissist. They will do everything they can to make you plant that in your brain to grow, that they are the only one for you. And that, guys, is extremely important. They are your only drug pusher. They are the only drug pusher you can go to get the effect that no other drug pusher, using the analogy, can get your dopamine levels spiked to this extent. In other words, can make you feel as in love and as desperate to stay with this person, because that feeling is something you may never have felt so intensely or powerfully before. And you wonder, why is it with this person? Because you may not even have found them that attractive initially. So you're kind of a bit perplexed at when they do the push and pull, why it's actually so painful, why you're so needy or a little bit desperate to act towards them as they groom you in a way that's pleasurable to them, so that they will keep you in your drugged state, and that they will enhance your feelings, and that they will give you more of the drug of dopamine. So it's a terrible thing, because we don't realize what's happening to us. But if we understand this and understand the science behind it, we can depersonalize the experience, because we are not alone. You are not alone in what you've experienced. And the drop and the withdrawal, the narcissist devalues you and withdraws you from your pleasurable drug of dopamine, and then gives it back to you, and then withdraws it from you, so that you are becoming more and more and more dependent on this narcissist to give you your narcotics, basically. You are scrambling around for more money. You are doing the best you can to get your next hit, unbeknownst to you. And so the grooming process of the devaluation works extremely well. And it's not because you're a flawed individual. It's because there's a scientific basis for what's going on. Now, when the narcissist cruelly discards you, it benefits them to make it as cruel, as quick, as inexplicable or unexplicable as possible, and to do the discard or to have the relationship break up at the very worst time for you. And please leave your examples down in the comments for other people to know that this is their modus operandi, that narcissists all play from the same playbook in relation to their cycle. And to answer the question, why is the discard so cruel? If you leave your examples there, people will know that all narcissists in general do this because of the effect scientifically. You even can be dropped after a brilliant event, after you've enjoyed something with the narcissist, after you've made love with the narcissist, after you've had a dopamine spike. They do this on purpose, guys. They know the effect it's going to have on you. And so you're discarded at a dopamine high. You go straight into withdrawal, cold turkey, and you cannot get your head around what is happening to you, why you feel so hopeless, why you feel so devastated, why you find pleasure in nothing, and why your brain is scrambled. You are basically coming off a drug, and you're coming off it without any support, without any understanding, and believing that you yourself are flawed and that you are the fault for the relationship breaking up, and that's why you feel so bad. And if you feel so bad, the narcissist must have been right, that you're a worthless person, etc., etc., etc. And this is because there is a scientific reason that so many people go through this. And if you've gotten some comfort from the podcasts where people say, you know, I experienced that too, and you think, well, I'm not alone in having gone through this worthless feeling experience. So maybe there is something behind it. Now, scientifically, you can know that this has nothing to do with you or your value as a person. This is a chemical reaction that's going on in your brain that is, I would say, 75% contributing to the way you feel, and that you can depersonalize this and no longer start to feel that you're a worthless person and why can't you handle this better and why is it taking you so long to move on. We are talking chemicals here, guys. We're talking drugs here. We're talking addiction here that we didn't know. We did not know. We didn't take the drug intentionally. But there probably is a point where we knew that the relationship wasn't good for us, but not to have the explanation that we were addicted, to me is kind of like a piece of the puzzle that everybody needs to know. And that's why I'm so passionate about getting this particular podcast out, so that knowing that there's a scientific basis for the way you're feeling, knowing that and depersonalizing it from the bad thoughts you're having about yourself. The narcissist has set you up to feel the craving for them. If they can drop you right down into the lowest hole possible, it'll take you the longest time to climb back up and see the light. So if you know that this is a chemical addiction, you know you can re-regulate those dopamine levels. And that's what the work is about in relation to narcissistic recovery. But if you know what you're fighting, then you know the cause. If you know the cause, if you know the symptoms, you can overcome that with structure. It's like knowing who your enemy is. When you don't know, you're flaying around and not knowing how you're going to survive. Well, I can guarantee you can survive this with the right approach, with the work. Look at the videos, self-care, coaching, reading, and basically knowing what you're going through. Re-engaging with sport, good nutrition, and taking up something new. Anything that advises that this will enhance your dopamine levels, self-knowledge, self-exploration, they will eventually come right again, and the narcissist, your drug dealer, will no longer be necessary because you will be self-regulating yourself once again. So guys, that's the message for today. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it gives you confidence back in yourself to know that you are one of many, because this is the effect of narcissistic abuse. It is the same or very similar for so many people, and there's a scientific reason behind it. Over and out for now. Please take care of yourselves, and I will see you again shortly. Bye for now.